guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and yesterday we had a update stream by CDPR, which is where they talk about the upcoming changes in a recent patch, and this patch I expect will probably drop tomorrow on the 29th of September. And the big thing that's coming with this patch is the Mahakam Ale Festival event. So this, I believe, is a single player event in which you play as Bruver versus King Bran. And the idea behind it is you go through this kind of little campaign and you can unlock rewards, you can unlock a border, I believe. There's maybe an icon and also, you know, kegs and scrap and that sort of thing as you go. And it's fully voiced, so as you can see here.
Elder-in-Chief Bruver Hoog is ever distrustful of travellers and opens the gates to them with the greatest reluctance. Unless, that is, they come to attend the great Mahakam Ale tucking. For you see, once each quarter century, Mahakam opens its doors to any who wish to celebrate, drunkenness, really. Yet, while the libations are volatile and the hangovers brutal, the feast itself usually remains a peaceful affair. Except for once, when guests from Skellige boasted they could outdrink the dwarves by barrels. Naturally, Bruver Hoog could not let the insult stand unchallenged.
They've done some voice work for it, and I think this is interesting in that we've got the voice work, but it's all kind of just reading something that's on the screen, so I'm wondering, you know, how engaging other people find this. And with Thronebreaker, they said Thronebreaker was a fully voiced campaign, so I'm wondering if this is the kind of direction they've taken with Thronebreaker, or whether they've been, you know, animating cutscenes for it, because I feel like with Thronebreaker it's maybe a bigger event, so maybe they've animated some cutscenes, but that is something that kind of remains to be seen. Given, like, CDPR's ability to tell stories, like in The Witcher, I feel like the storyline behind this Mahakam Ale Festival is probably going to be the best part about it. I'm, like, really excited just for that side of things. But they have said that they've also changed some cards and added some new cards for the event. But they are exclusive to the event, so as of now, I think they're only usable in the Mahakam Ale Festival. And not in the rest of the game. And then there's like an easy mode and there's a harder mode for you guys to try out. I'll definitely have videos of me playing it here on the channel. But that's something that I'm really looking forward to with the update. And then we come to card changes. And the biggest one for me is that they've made a bunch more units agile, meaning that they can be placed on any row. And I kind of dislike the idea of all of the units having agility, because I feel like with some units, knowing where they're going to be played, for example, Neckers or Dunbanner Heavy Cavalry, allows you to be a little bit predictive in how you play, because you know that the unit is coming onto a certain spot, so you can kind of preempt certain moves, and I think that's like a tactical thing that you can do. So adding agility to, I think they said like 30 plus units now are agile, I think is maybe not so good for the health of the game. But on the flip side, they've said that the reason they're doing this is for a big tech change that's coming towards the end of the year. So I guess having units that you can place anywhere horizontally and vertically is going to be important in terms of that tech change. No idea what it is. If you have any guesses, let me know. But that's what they've said. So that's the kind of, I would say, the biggest change in terms of this patch. On top of that, we've had some slight changes to certain cards. So we'll start with the big one, Marigold's Hailstorm. But Marigold's Hailstorm now doesn't hit gold cards. So it's similar to Eskel in that regard. Like Eskel, for example, you can't target a gold card with that. Marigold's doesn't hit gold cards. So it means that your rows are going to be a little bit safer if they have gold cards on them. And it also means if you're buffing units, you can potentially choose to concentrate buffs onto gold cards rather than onto silvers or bronzes in order to protect them from marigolds. I think this is an interesting change. I think combined with the agility, it's probably going to help tone down marigolds, because now, for example, with units not being on specific rows, you can spread them out a bit more, so you're a little bit safer. So we'll see kind of how this affects marigolds going forward. The next change is one I actually really like, and that is Clear Skies. Clear Skies now boosts damaged allies which are under weather by 1. So if you clear skies and there happens to be damaged allies on rows where the weathers are, they will get boosted by 1. And they don't have to be damaged by weather, they just have to be damaged. So I think this is a really interesting card in that they then get boosted by 1. So it gives you a little bit of tempo with Clear Skies should you play something like play against something like Drought or Ragnarok, and I feel like it's just like, it gives it so that Clear Skies isn't a completely dead play, and currently, you know, the best way to play Clear Skies is with a faction mage, like a Bayer or Van Hamar, for example. So this gives a little bit more value to Clear Skies, and helps counter weather a little bit, without, you know, changing gold weather, for example. Then we have our Northern Realms changes. So the Dunbanner heavy cavalry is now agile, which means it's no longer always played on the same row. And they've toned down its strength to just 7. So instead of 8, it's now 7. And this is kind of a tiny change. In some ways, probably a buff, because now they're agile. You're not going to be stacking a row with them. But on top of that, they've changed Stennis. So Stennis now, I believe, only has 3 armor. So he still gives whatever he resurrects 5 armor, but he himself has 3 armor. And on top of that, Shani, when she resurrects, now gives her target 2 armor. So you no longer can do Shani into Stennis into an 18-point Dunbanana. It would be now Shani into Stennis into a 12-point Dunbanana. So that's actually been nerfed by 6 points, which is a pretty significant nerf, I would say. 6 points is a decent amount. And I think it will kind of tone down Northern Realms a little bit without being too crazy. The last kind of big Northern Realms change is that Neneke now only targets units. So when you're putting things back into your graveyard, into your deck, you can't put special cards back into your deck. Like Commander's Horn, for example, those kind of cards. The only units can be targeted by her. The final kind of big change in terms of balance changes is Restore. So Restore is the Skellige card, and now what this does is when you draw a unit from your graveyard with Restore, it sets that unit's base strength to 10. So you don't really want to be resurrecting skirmishers with that anymore because you're probably going to be, you know, lowering their base strength. But if you have some weaker units in your graveyard, Restore now kind of becomes a little bit more of a power play. I'm kind of interested to see how this card is going to pan out in the current meta. I feel like this change at the moment is maybe not that big, but in the future could be quite useful. It basically means that when you play Restore, you're getting 10 points out of your graveyard into your hand. And I guess the idea with Restore is it's putting it in your hand, so it's not a resurrect to the board, so there should be like a condition to it. But then it's a silver card, so I don't know. I think it's interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Beyond that, I think there are some kind of point changes to certain cards, but that obviously you can see in the patch. And that's more or less it for this week. Let me know what you guys think of the changes in the comments below. Are you excited for the Mahakam Ale Festival? Do you think the changes to Northern Realm were justified? I don't really understand the change to Restore, and I'm a little bit wary about these agility changes. But beyond that, I look forward to seeing your thoughts, so let me know. You can always like the video. Beyond that, I'll catch you guys in the next video, so you can always subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!